especially after the game he had last weekend?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but this is how they have to go about it. They have to still try to dominate time of possession. They still have one of the best units in pro football, and that's the offensive line. They still have a very good quarterback. Now, for me, I'm not going to flip the script and try to turn the team around and try to make them a passing team. I don't think they have enough explosive players on the outside. I don't think they can make enough big plays to be able to do that.
They haven't shown anything so far that they can do that.
So an NFL offensive team is going to have about 65 plays a game. So I'm getting ready to run the ball 40 times. I'm getting ready to run the ball, eat up the clock.
With Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden.
Yes.
You'll run the ball 40 times.
Yeah, that's just what I just said.
I'm just making sure.
And the reason why I need to eat up the time of possession so I can keep the defense off the field. Also, I'm going to be very, very heavy play action. So I'm not going to throw the ball more than 25, 30 times a game because I believe that's the recipe for the offensive line to continue what they've done the last 2 weeks. You cannot be a dominant offensive team if you decide to throw the ball 40 times because that offensive line, you can't be physical in pass protection. So what do I know about football? That would be my recipe. If Dallas wants to try to have a winning record, 4-2, I think that's probably the best they can do in these 6 games.
If they go 4-2, they'll be thrilled. They go 3-3, they'll take it. I think they will take being 7-6 going into the final 3 games of the year. One note about those final 3 games, Week 17 at Philly. That seems like a brutal game, but if Philly is the 1 seed locked up, that all of a sudden could become the exact opposite of a brutal game. Can Dallas survive without Zeke? I think the answer is yes. I think it's partially because of what Cece's saying about the offensive line still being able to make holes for average NFL running backs. But the other part of it is this. Stay afloat just means stay alive for the playoffs, right? That's what we mean by stay afloat, essentially.
Yes.
6 teams got to make the playoffs in each conference. And I'm looking at the NFC, and I'm like, okay, Philly's going to be there. Minnesota's going to be there. Seattle's going to be there. And then I look around the rest of it, and I say, who do I trust? Do I trust the Rams? I really don't, even though they're 5-2. Do I trust Atlanta? Absolutely not. So now we're down to, all right, so New Orleans, even if you put in New Orleans and Carolina, that's only 5 spots. There's still a spot available. And I've listed all the teams to me that are even eligible. Washington, throw them out of it.
But that's really 6 spots because if you throw in Carolina, Atlanta, you're throwing in New Orleans.
I'm saying throw in Carolina and New Orleans. I'm getting rid of Atlanta. Atlanta, I think, is a bad football team.
Okay, right now, you would rather be the Dallas Cowboys at 4-3 with Zeke suspended than the Atlanta Falcons?
Yes, I would.
Oh, you're straight tripping. Like you're crazy.
Really? What has Atlanta shown you that they do well this year?
At least they have their team intact.
Right, but
you haven't even seen Dallas 6 games without Zeke. You don't have no clue what they are. At least we know what Atlanta is.
Right, and Atlanta with its team intact is a 7-9 team. Like, that's to me, and Dallas, I know they have the same record, right? 4-3.
Yes.
Dallas, to me, has been more impressive, especially this last month, in getting to 4-3.
Yeah, but the reason why they've been impressive, the guy's not going to be there.
But that's not the whole reason.
You just called their running backs average. They got 2 average running backs.
Yes.
And it's just puzzling to me. But
no. Go ahead, Jenna.
No, I wanted to get back to his point, which was a good one, then ask you, do you think, if the question is, are they going to stay afloat, that the Cowboys are going to suddenly change their offense a little bit and turn to your guy Dak and see what he can do? Or they're just going to, I don't know if they're going to run the ball 40 times, but is that going to be their game plan?
I mean,
Jenna, scoot over this way.
No,
because if they decide to throw the football, this is where all the receivers are in the defensive back. Ain't going to be no separation.
Okay.
All right? So if they think they could win that way, they don't think they can win.
Okay. Well, Dak is his guy.
Listen, I understand.
It doesn't matter. Dak is not running routes. All right? Jason Witten can't threaten the middle of the field.
And Dez isn't catching
inconsistent.
Balls. Yes.
Just like this.
Just like this.
Okay.
I actually don't mind this. I'm comfortable.
I'm glad to see you guys cozying up with each other. So Cece's point, I understand, is the Cowboys, since the beginning of last year, I think they're 15-2 when they run the ball more than 28 times. And so you're saying, hey, keep that formula going.
You got to help your defense out, Nick, too. All right? Their defense doesn't create turnovers.
But Cece, going 3 and out doesn't help your defense. Running the ball 3 times in the line of scrimmage doesn't help your defense. Well, right?
Well, Nick, if you go 3 and out, you're not going to get to the 40 carries.
Right.
if that offensive line, all right, if they can average 4 yards a carry, all right, my math is not great, but that calculates more than 10. That's the recipe to success.
Okay.
Right?
Go ahead.
No, I'm done with that. If they run the ball 40 times, they're going to be successful.
I agree with you. I don't think they can run the ball 40 times because we're in agreement that you can't run the ball 40 times. You're going 3 and out repeatedly.
Okay.
I think if you looked at what New England did, and I understand Dak's not Tom Brady, but if you look at what New England did this week against the Chargers, where they made, as you put it, the passing game an extension of their running game, quick throws, crossing routes, things like that. I know you don't think the Cowboys have the personnel for it. The wide receivers
They don't have the game plan for it. They're not going to come up with a new game plan over the week. They don't throw the ball a lot short.
Well, hold on a second, Cece. When you say you're not going to come with a new game plan over the week, haven't they been, since this 6-game suspension was announced 6 months ago, however many months ago, 3 months ago, haven't they been developing what the game plan is going to be?
No.
Why?
Because Zeke has been made available.
But they knew.
They never had to pull the trigger. And if they did have to pull the trigger, Nick, everything's going to be based off the offensive line. They are not going to depend on Dak to throw the ball 35 times. It's not what I say. It's what they've been doing.
But when you say they haven't had to pull the trigger, when you know this, you've been adamant more than anyone on television, Zeke is getting suspended at some point. There's no doubt about it. And you've, I think, been proven right. There hasn't been parts of the Dallas coaching staff that has been developing a secondary game plan for when that happens.
They can't do it, Nick.
And he said
they can't do it. It's nice in your mind. It's nice to be able to say it on paper, but you can't change your offensive system. That's why you don't have a running quarterback and a throwing quarterback, because it's too hard to convert the terminology.
All right, we're going to hold it up there, guys. We're going to take a break. Coming up, LeBron James might be better at Halloween than basketball. We'll show you why next.
Just an outrage.
First. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.